Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Um, what we're going to be talking about right now is something that I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but when I researched it, I'm going to give you the good and the bad, okay? So you can do your own research and form your own opinions, okay? So, allegedly, politicians are selling off our public lands during the middle of the night when no one is watching. At a midnight Nevada, representatives um, introduced a last minute amendment to sell off hundreds of thousands of acres of public lands in Nevada. There was no public input, no meaningful debate, just a shadowy addition to the budget reconciliation package when they thought Americans were not watching.
This is by definition the dark of night. It is 11:13 p.m. And I want to point out that the chairman's print of the reconciliation bill is 96 pages. And we just had an amendment introduced at 11 p.m. tonight that is 33 pages long that sells off public lands in the state of Nevada.
Now, like I said, after doing some research, I found the good and the bad about this act. So let's go through this, okay? The Truckee, and Truckee is Truckee, Meadows Public Lands Management Act, is a plan for managing federal land in Washoe, and that's Washoe County, Nevada. And it could be a way to balance building new homes and businesses with protecting nature and supporting local communities. Okay, so I'm going to break this down in simple terms. Making land available for development. The act would let the government sell about 15,860 acres of federal land for things like affordable housing, schools, parks, or roads. This is to help the Washoe County grow as more people are moving there. Land sold for affordable housing would be priced lower to make homes cheaper for regular people. The protecting of the nature. It sets aside a huge chunk, about 1 million acres, for conservation, and this includes 223,000 acres as for wilderness areas where no development or mining can happen, keeping them wild forever. 551,000 acres as national conservation areas, which protect nature but allow some activities like driving on marked roads. 174,000 acres as withdrawal areas, safe from mining or development, but open for hiking, biking, or dog walking. Now, when it comes to helping the local tribes, this act would transfer some land to the local Native American tribes like the Pyramid Lake Paiute, and that's Paiute, and Reno Sparks Indian Colony, to expand the reservations and protect culturally important places. This will also keep money local, I guess you could say. When land is sold, the money stays in Nevada, and instead of going to the U.S. Treasury. It's split like this. 5% goes to Nevada's education fund. 10% helps restore the Truckee River. 85% goes to special fund for local projects like parks, trails, or conservation in the county. So for public use, about 3,400 acres would go to local governments for things like parks, flood control, or schools. For example, Reno and Sparks could get land for new trails or community centers. following the rules. Like any land sold has to go through environmental reviews and meet local zoning laws to make sure development is done responsibly. So in short, it's a plan to help the county grow smartly by building homes and businesses where they are needed while keeping Nevada's wild spaces, cultural sites, and outdoor fun protected for the future. It's modeled after a similar successful plan in southern Nevada. Now, whether the Truckee Meadows Public Land Management Act is good or bad depends on who you ask and what they value. So let's break down why some people might think it's bad and why others see it as good in plain terms. So why do some people think it's bad? Loss of public land. The act allows selling the 15,860 acres of federal land for development. Critics worry that this means less open space for hiking, camping, and wildlife. Once land is sold, it's gone from public use forever, which can feel like a loss for nature lovers or those who want untouched landscapes. Development concerns. Some fear that selling land for housing or businesses could lead to urban sprawl, traffic, or strain on water resources in a dry region like Nevada. If not managed well, it might harm the environment or change the area's small town vibe. Not enough wilderness protection. While the act protects 223 acres of wilderness, critics might argue it's not enough compared to the total land managed, which is 1 million acres. They might want more areas locked away from any use like mining or off-roading. Now, there's skepticism about the affordable housing, okay? This act promises lower cost land for affordable housing, but some doubt developers will actually build homes regular people can afford. They worry it's a handout to big developers who might build expensive homes or commercial projects instead. So there is trust issues. Some folks don't trust the government or developers to follow through on environmental reviews or prioritize community needs. They might see it as a way to make money off of public land without enough oversight. Now, why do others think it's good? Well, supporters' growth. The county's population is growing, and the act provides lands for homes, schools, and businesses to keep up with the growth. Without it, housing could get even more expensive, pushing people out. When it comes to big conservation and the winning, it protects 1 million acres, including wilderness and conservation areas, which is a huge deal for preserving Nevada's deserts, mountains, and wildlife. This balances growth with nature. It does help the tribes. Transferring land to Native American tribes supports their communities and protects culturally significant sites, which many see as a step towards justice. Now, there are local benefits like money from land sales stays in Nevada, funding the schools, the parks, the trails, and river restoration. This could directly improve life in the county. Now, when it comes to smart planning, the act requires environmental reviews and local zoning, which helps ensure development is not reckless. It's based on a Southern Nevada plan that's worked well for decades. So what's the actual deal? The act is not inherently bad or good. It's a trade-off. If you value open space and worry about overdevelopment, you might lean towards seeing this as bad. If you think the area needs room to grow and trust the conservation measures, you might see it as good. Critics often highlight the loss of public land or developer profits, but supporters point out that the housing crisis and the conservation gains. So there's a lot to take in, and I understand that. But what do you think? Do you think this is good or do you think this is bad? Okay. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always,